Hey, I guess it's working. I just got new internet, so I'm trying to work out the glitches. Hey, Video Boar, how are you? I am trying to work out the glitches in my internet service and my stream. So that the frames don't drop. How are you? Well, I guess it won't let me while I'm streaming. Good morning. So, can you hear me? Can you see me? Is the video dropping frames, or is it good to go? Your visa interviews. Good luck. I wish you luck on this. I will pray for you. Hey, good morning. Can you guys tell me if the video looks good or if the frames are dropping? Because I can't change it while I'm streaming. It does? Okay. Because I'm trying to adjust to new internet, and I have to adjust the bit rate and all of that. But I can't do it while I'm streaming, so I see that a couple of frames have been dropped, but nothing major. But my internet here is not going to be as good as my other streams because I can only get satellite internet here. I mean, I live literally in the middle of nowhere. Hey Faith, hey Paul, how are you guys? I was gonna wait to see if a couple more people came in. I know it's probably early there. I don't even know what time exactly. Thank you. So, before I start talking about Alice's book and what happened, I know you guys know Mike, right? From LMS Tactical. It's funny because I always get messages and emails saying, you need to speak to Mike, and he's actually a friend. I have been on his channel a long time ago, speaking to him. 7:13. Wow, it is early. Well, I tried to wait as late as I can. It's 12:13 here a.m. But I talked to Mike today, guys, and I think we're going to be doing a live stream to talk about something. And I mentioned this kind of the other day, but I didn't want to say too much because we don't have all of the details ironed out or really know exactly who, what, when. But the idea started out from a Marine friend of mine who, he basically said that he's been looking for a worthy cause to fight for, and since he got out of the military, and he's just wanted every piece of information that I have that I can give him, and I have tried to give him everything I can. And he's contacted some of his other buddies, and so he wanted to get some of them together and come over. And what he asked me is there a need for this? Would we be welcomed? Would there be a place that we could help? And I said, absolutely. They absolutely would welcome, your expertise, training, anything, any kind of help. You can always learn something from someone. And even though I know that the older generation of men who fought, in these wars, even for my country, that they are very capable of teaching. They are older now, and I just thought maybe they could use some help. The younger generation doesn't get the military training that the older generation got. And this is really sad because, it teaches discipline and many other things. Well, I spoke about that, and I received an email with a proposal and an idea for what if, instead of sending our veterans over there right now, because it's not time yet for anything other than training, right? And if they came over, number one, they would never be safe. They would be targets because they would be hated. And number two, everyone would live in fear of, even learning anything because of, the government. And so this person proposed an idea to me. What if you brought over so many of, from different groups that were able to go back and train. Hey everyone, that were able to, get what they could get here training with these guys, and then take it back and train others, the youngsters, things like that. So I spoke to my Marine friend. He thought this was a great idea. And, Mike is a veteran too, so I spoke to him about this today. And he said, I love it, love it, love it, love it. So, it's not all ironed out. We would have to raise money. I know that the people there do not have money to travel, things like that. So we would have to figure out a way and maybe start small, say bring 10 people and pay visa cost and travel. And then the men who they would be training with, the veterans, they've already said room and board is no issue. We want them with us. And I thought that this would be a great opportunity because our veteran community is huge, guys, huge. And there are huge organizations. So think about if some of these men that have fought, in wars for my country, or who know, have family members that did, who can come over and build a, friendship relationship with these American military guys. And these guys are getting firsthand what is happening there. And they're being told that the same men that have fought in every war for my country, that they're literally fighting for the lives of their families right now. Their children are being slaughtered, and they essentially have been left behind by our government when, our DOD called on them. They came without question. And I'm telling you guys, if the U.S. veterans knew this and knew the full extent of what's happening, they're going to speak to their buddies about it. Their buddies are going to speak to their buddies. And eventually we're going to have a huge community of pissed off veterans writing and raising hell, wanting to know, why is this happening? Why are we not helping these people? What is going on? So I thought this would be a great opportunity to share information and train. Like I said, we don't have all the details ironed out, and when we do, I of course won't reveal everything, but I think I'm going to go on, and Mike and I are going to speak about it, because there will be a need to raise money for this, and we haven't ironed that out either. But where there's a will, there's a way. What do you guys think of this idea? As I said, I will reveal no more for reasons that you guys know, but I at least wanted to share the idea. I know Colin Flaherty. I love Colin Flaherty. I've followed him for a very, very long time. Thank you, Peter. Hey, Dick Justice. Hey. Who's in charge of the Academy Awards? So, I'll go ahead and start speaking on this. What I did on the video, I love you too. What I did was I put up the email that they sent Alice. So, basically, this is all she got, guys. This is it. After voting had already begun, and they notified her like a month early that her book was nominated and voting was going to begin on the 3rd. I know because she told me. So she prepared all this time, had the art, to share for voting. And one day after voting began, they sent her this email. My turn was 900 votes in the lead in this category, this nonfiction category, when they did this. And this is from Emily Myers, from the Author Academy Awards. And it says, "Hi Alice, we hope you're well. Under further review of the content of your books." Okay, My Turn wasn't the only book in the awards. It's just the only book of its kind. Alice typically writes romance novels, so she had other books. They banned all of them. So, under further review of the content of your books submitted for our Author Academy Awards, you're no longer approved to be included in the contest. Have a nice day. Emily Myers, Customer Support Manager. So, that's it. That's all they told her after all of this. No reason. And I've read that book, okay? There's nothing inappropriate. There's no propaganda. There's no hate. There's no incitement to anything. There are no lies. It's actually laid out in a way that I really loved, because it is simplified, where people that are not South African can understand what's happening without having to understand, everything that's very complicated. And I just can't believe they did this to her. Video where I know this well, and as I said, this right now is just an idea. If and when the time comes, I will say nothing. So, what I suggest everyone does is, I don't know who's on Twitter, but Lena Marks made some ridiculous comments on Twitter about, South Africa being this utopia, and this is not verbatim, but this is pretty a vibrant democracy. That's what she said. She was savaged by all South Africans, black, white, everyone. They just posted link after link and comment and videos and statistics, and man, they ate her alive. I feel like we should do the exact same thing with these people at the Author Academy Awards. Flood them with the truth, with the corruption, the news articles, people's testimonies, farm attacks, just things that back up everything that My Turn speaks about, which is South Africa is unsafe, the crime is out of control, the corruption is out of control, and the targeted murders of whites is a huge problem being ignored by the world. It is planned, they are executed, and it is absolutely happening. And it's incited by the government. And I think we should flood them with all of this information like they did with Lena Marks. What do you guys think? The clock in the background, I'm sorry, it's in the kitchen. Listen, I turned the heater off so that it wouldn't make background noise. Okay, give me a break. Because it annoyed someone last time and I was freezing my butt off. Yeah, that's what I heard, that when Lena Marks heard about the petition, that she was fit to be tied, that she was so angry. I don't know that to be fact, but I have it on good authority. Video boy says she threw stuff off the table when she heard about his petition to remove her, and the petition did very well. I don't know if all signatures were gained or not. Were they? Good morning, Ben. Right, so White Healing Speaks says that remember what our ancestors suffered through. White people are marginalized, oppressed, and targets. So I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. And this is in The Art of War too, guys, and the 48 Laws of Power. What is being done to our people all over the world, it's just compounded in South Africa times 1,000. But it's happening everywhere. Is that we are actually attacked, not just physically, but, verbally, in any way. We're put out there to be evil and the aggressors and the attackers. And I'm not saying that whites don't ever commit crimes or attack people or whatever, but when you look at the statistics as a whole, more crime is committed against us than anyone else. Except when it comes to black on black crime, okay? And I'm not factoring that in. But the perpetrators of this have become masters at playing the victim and always turning it on us by yelling racist or white supremacist or whatever it may be. And as much as we can, I know in South Africa it's not quite as simple as this, but other places we have to fight back. And when they say things like that, I mean, we have to take them down. You can't call me that without evidence of racism. You're race baiting, that's bullshit. And, kind of back them into a corner and force them to tell you why you are these things, or to not say it. Yeah, it's called mirroring, and they are mirroring their actions onto you, us, white people. So the crimes they commit against others, they blame us for committing. And even though it's absolutely made up and not true, people believe it because they're stupid. They're stupid, or they're just, I don't know. I don't know. I have no guilt for anything. I've never purposely hurt any person, and I wouldn't unless they were trying to hurt me or, someone I loved. Yeah, she says research crime statistics against whites, that it's really bad. I don't have these in front of me. I don't know them by heart. And just like Vicky Momberg being put in prison for saying the K word, I'm called a white bitch, a cracker, what else? Anything else you can think of that's derogatory. I actually smile because I take pride in it, but this is no big deal. People can call white people whatever they want, but don't dare say anything about someone of another race, because then you're the worst person in the world. In South Africa, you will go to jail. It should be the same standards across the board if we're going to hold people accountable. Dispatcher says they need to be victims to continue their grift and thievery. Yeah, so I watched a video that Avidor Eskin made, and he made it a while back, and I mean, he absolutely told the truth about South Africa and about the government and the majority. He said things that I cannot say because he's Jewish and he can get away with it. If I were to say the true things that he said in his video, I would be banned forever. So I won't, but I'll have to find that video and post a link because it's great. It's on my Instagram if anyone wants to go and see it. It's brand.tx, and you can find it posted on my Instagram. Yeah, the anti-white status quo. Yeah, and it's oppression. And, White Healing Speaks says that, separation is the answer. Well, my question is, there are Jewish communities all over the U.S., right? Only Jewish people live there. They marry only Jewish people. They live amongst only Jewish people. There are the Amish, the Mennonites, Muslims, every other ethnic group of people are allowed to live in their own communities without judgment amongst each other. They are allowed to marry only the people of their ethnic community. They are not judged for that. But none of that is okay for white people. You can't say, I'm only attracted to other people like myself. You're horrible. Well, I'm not horrible. It's perfectly ingrained in my DNA, and it doesn't mean I hate anyone or anything. It just means that, that's my natural instinct. It's how civilizations have thrived and survived since the beginning of time, by sticking together. And there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, Alex. I hear you, IQ Blue. I guess I'll just erase this when I'm done. That's just so crazy, that you can't just prepare yourself for a worst case scenario, without fear of persecution. It's nothing illegal or nefarious, but it's so sad that people there have to be afraid to even prepare to defend their families when they're threatened daily with horrific things. I mean, it's a clear and present threat. It's not just a made-up thing. I mean, it's spoken about openly. It's called for by the government. Yes, that's what we're speaking about, Alex. They were removed. I put up the email on the screen. That's the only explanation she got, which is nothing. We don't know why they removed them, but I'm hoping to find out. They were removed. So I'm going to put the link to where you can buy Alice's book in the description. It's not in there right now because it won't let me copy and paste until after the stream's over, and I can go back and edit. And I don't have my glasses on. I cannot see the link to type it in. I try to be a good gardener, Alex said. Yeah, we need to stop being good. We need to stop making excuses, lying, covering up for the sake of being polite and not offending anyone. And start telling the truth, because if nothing changes, nothing changes. And, I said this today. I was speaking to someone in South Africa. And we were talking about the differences between, America and South Africa and the black population in America. They only make up 13% of the population, but that 13% of the population commits 53% of all the murder. And I'm not saying all people are bad or agree with that. They're not. But what I'm saying is it's obviously a problem. And we're just lucky that their population is not the majority here, because we are hated here too. and if they were the majority, they would probably be killing us too. It's just a little bit different because there's not the tribal aspect in the Sangoma stuff. Tony says, time we put up a fight and push back at every turn. If it continues, then we accelerate. I'm with you. I'm not taking it. I have been polite, and all being polite and fighting back with facts got me is being told that I need to be raped, being told that history couldn't be trusted because it was written by white men, and being told that the indigenous Africans invented everything, including but not limited to running water, modern architecture, modern medicine, the internet, cell phones, computers, electricity, and that evil white people stole these things from them. So I stopped trying to rationalize, because you can't rationalize with somebody who is incapable of rational thought process. I mean, and once you tell me I need to be raped, the rational conversation is pretty much over. It's happening all over America. Yeah, it is. White Healing Speaks. I don't know if you remember the story of Shannon Christian and what was her boyfriend's name? But they were kidnapped, carjacked, and I mean, it is the most horrifying story. They were teenagers. They were boyfriend and girlfriend, and they were kidnapped because they were white. Shannon was saving herself for marriage, and she was brutally raped by 3 different men. There was a woman there who witnessed all of it, did not stop it. They kept her alive for, I think, 3 days while the police were desperately looking for her and her boyfriend. They actually passed up this house that she was in. They took her boyfriend out to railroad tracks. They sodomized him. They shot him. They set him on fire after they beat him. And they left him there. They kept her for, I think, 3 days, raping her the whole time. And they eventually put her in a trash can and put a lid on, and she suffocated to death. But her parents had to sit through court proceedings for these monsters and listen to the damage done to their daughter. And there was so much damage done to her, just, it was like they hated her. I mean, she had tears in her throat. It was just horrible and uncalled for. And I know this kind of thing happens all the time in South Africa, but it's very devastating no matter where it happens. And I will never forget her face. Never. Right. White Healing says we did not steal anything. And that goes for Americans and South Africans. You know, as far as America's a different story than South Africa. When the whites arrived in South Africa, which they had been coming to the Cape since before 1652, they settled in 1652, but that wasn't their first trip there. I mean, that was a stop on the trading route. And I believe there was a shipwreck when some of the people settled. But they didn't, take the land by force from the very few people that were there. They made deals and treaties. They traded. Um, you know, it wasn't like they went there and slaughtered everyone. And in America, it's a little bit different, but it was a different time period. And things were different. But I'm not responsible for anything that was done then. I wasn't even alive. But white South Africans belong in South Africa. Okay? Without them, there would not be a South Africa. People that can't get this through their head blow me away, okay? You want it, you say they stole it from you, even though you're not from there. You're from Nigeria or wherever else you originate from. It's not South Africa. Yet, it wouldn't even be there. All you had to do was say thank you. It would have been sufficient. And Hollywood does push all of this. Hey, Hendrik. Alex says we need to keep a record of these horrible stories, to keep their memories and to shut up naysayers. That's a good idea. No, White Healing speaks. She keeps talking about Colin Flaherty. I don't know if you guys know who Colin Flaherty is, but he's an American. And he basically takes the news stories that the media does not tell the truth on. Like when they say kids got into a scuffle. No, it was a mob. And they were attacking people or playing the knockout game or looting, and he tells the truth about what really happened. And he does this quite often with a lot of different kind of videos, and he just exposes the lies that the media tells and what they're covering up, and that is the huge problem that is the black on black crime, black on white crime, black on everyone crime in America. I know, but I can't say it. Who? I cannot. Yeah, I like Colin Flaherty. Yeah, he wrote White Girl Bleed a lot. If there's anyone who has never read this book, you need to read it. This is for anyone that cares about any of these issues. This book is a necessity. You need to read Colin Flaherty's book, White Girl Bleed a Lot. Oh, and Don't Make the Black Kids Angry. That's a newer one. White Girl Bleed a Lot is an older book that he wrote. But both of those are must reads. You usually just say certain groups. I try to be honest without, being offensive, because I know not everyone is a criminal and not everyone thinks that way, and I hate, lumping everyone in together. But it's really hard when it seems to be a problem everywhere, and when everywhere you go, it's the same thing. I mean, you're the common denominator. It's not everyone else's fault around you. It's yours. And people need to hold their people, their community, the people committing these acts of violence and crime, they need to hold them responsible. Their own community needs to hold them responsible. Brewster. I was going to make a joke about Canadians, but my friend, she's Canadian, so I won't say it. Hi, Stephen. Thank you. Always, always, always. Right, and you have to name them, I think, because this is where the media misleads people. They don't. So therefore, people don't know that it's a huge issue because they're not telling the truth about who is committing the crimes. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, I mean, as I said, guys, I have a lot of personal opinions and beliefs, but they don't matter. Not when it relates to South Africa. Because when I set out on this mission, my number one goal was to do no harm, to give no ammunition to the enemy of my people. And if I just said hateful things and was a hateful person, I would be exactly what they make the whites in South Africa seem to be, even though they're not. I would play right into their hands where they were able to say, see, I told you they deserve it. And so this is my reasoning for sometimes not commenting on things or saying things, is because I will not give ammunition to them. Yeah, now more than 13%. It was, I'm speaking about a couple of years ago, and the murder rate is probably up too. YouTube does censor a lot. You have to be creative in chat now. When I spoke to Mike today, we spoke about this because, he's under attack on YouTube. I mean, they are just like hammering him. And I told him that he needs to create a BitChute, spend some time putting his stuff on there. It's an alternative, and it grows quickly. I don't know how. I don't have one strike on my channel, but I haven't. He said, I don't know how that happened. I said, I don't either. But I guess some people just become targets, and man, they just go after them for everything they say. White Healing says, it's not possible for them to be 13% of the population for 100 years. Not possible. You're absolutely right. I'm sure it's much more. It's maybe 16 now. That's from a couple of years ago. I haven't... Oh, I'm yawning, guys. I haven't looked up the statistics in a while, so I'm quoting ones from the Obama era. Yeah, I do, Alex. I do my best. I mean, I try very hard to not give any reason while still speaking the truth. It's hard, guys, because, especially on BitChute, like, I'm attacked. I am called a Jew, a Zionist, C-word. I mean, they are savage, and they just don't get it. They just don't get it. And I don't know. There's just so many people just don't understand how to fight effectively. And if you want to be taken seriously, you have to be serious. And if you are constantly attacking other groups by race, based on race, and making insults, and you are doing what I'm doing and trying to reach the Department of State and trying to get a meeting and be taken seriously, you'll never do that with that. Never. And, if I said all of the things other people say and let people rope me into speaking like that, I would never be taken seriously by people that have the power to make things happen or not happen. So I can't do it. The darkness hates the light. Olaf, that is so true. And this is why they attack so viciously. Because that's not, we do need to stand up, boycott, separate. It's easy for us in America. South Africa, not so much. POL. I think I'll start using that. So anyways, guys, we've already been on for 54 minutes. I'm so glad to have internet where I can come back on and speak to you guys. Me too, White Healing speaks. They don't have anything except this outrage about things that are made up or buzzwords or that don't even exist, or that there's not even any evidence against it. They say, institutional racism and all of these things that when the truth is, in America, if you're a Black American, you are given points on the SAT test to get into schools. Points are taken away from Asians. I call that privilege, minority privilege. You have to hire, a certain amount of people, whether they're qualified or not. There are a lot of things, and I'm not saying all people don't want to work that hard at school or work or whatever, because that's not true. But if you're not willing to work as hard as everyone else at school or whatever it may be, you shouldn't be given a free pass. That's not fair. It's not right. So I'll bust my ass and study and work my ass off and learn this stuff, and they just give you a pass. Bullshit. Not fair. Go back on Jason's channel, please. I'm so aggravated at Jason. He stays so busy. And I spoke to him, I think, day before yesterday. go to Jason's channel. You guys tell Jason that he needs to message me or to bring me on, because we actually just spoke about this. We were going to go back on live stream, but I don't know when, and he hasn't gotten back with me. So if you guys could, if you make it over to Jason's channel, harass him a little bit for me. I think homeschooling is the best thing too. So again, go harass Jason, guys. Tell him I said hi. Black privilege. That's exactly what it is. You know, people say white privilege, white privilege. Well, I can guarantee you that I know a lot of people in South Africa who would sell their white privilege cheap. Anyways, guys, so as far as Alice's book, I would ask and urge everyone to go to the Author Academy Awards, to email these people, go to their webpage, find their emails, email them, comment, if you can comment on the page, send them, flood them with information, and let's tell them how we feel about what they did with no explanation. Tell Jason I said hi, since he doesn't have time to message me back. He'll laugh so hard if you guys tell him. Brandy said to tell you hi. That's good stuff. It's funny. Yeah, Olaf's right too. So I'm gonna get off, guys, but now that I know that this works pretty good and everything's going good, I'm gonna plan some stuff coming up. As I said, I'm gonna go on with Mike. I'll probably go on his channel. I'm supposed to go on with Jason, if I can ever nail him down to make a time. If you guys could help out, a little harassment. I hope he doesn't watch this. And as I said, I'm going to put the link where you can go to buy Alice's book in the comments. As soon as this finishes loading to YouTube, I'll edit it. And so anyone interested in buying the book, you can go to Amazon. I'll put the link. You can buy it, support Alice. And just post this information everywhere. Flood these people with the truth. Let them know how you feel. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Share it. I mean, whatever you can do. Thank you, Alex. I will do that. And keep praying, keep fighting the good fight. We will overcome. Yes, we will. And I truly believe that in my heart. I used to spend days crying because I didn't know. I didn't know that. I didn't know that we couldn't lose. Now, I still cry sometimes, but that has been taken from me. It's gone. I don't have that hopelessness where I feel all hope is lost. I actually feel the opposite. And I'm at peace. And it took a long time. Well, you have to email me first in order for me to give you my number. I can't give it to you on here. Jeez Louise. Played dumb. So Video Bore, I'm sorry, I have to say this. Video Boar said, I sent a message on Facebook. Oh, so that's, you can flood we can flood their Facebook. Well, I can't, but you guys can. Video Boar, tell people how to find them on Facebook or whatever. But he says he sent a message on Facebook to their page, and Carrie Oberrunner replied and played dumb. Yeah, she is dumb. They're all dumb. The word is out now. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I love each and every one of you. I'm always praying for you, and I will be back. I'm going to plan some stuff that's more interesting than just me. I'm kind of boring. Oh, well. I don't have Facebook. They took my Facebook. Find me on Instagram. It's brandi.tx. And with that, I will say goodnight, guys, because it's time for me to go to bed. So, God bless. Hey, Janie. God bless, and please stay safe, and I will talk to you soon. Good night.